saying Brady being added to the NFC South makes the division a battle every week. Don't worry, Matt. I'm sure Breeze and Bridgewater aren't thrilled about it either. Hey, Nick, the competition in the NFC South this season will be blank.
I'm going to say in response to Matt Ryan's comments, I believe it's going to be calendar dependent because when you look at the Atlanta Falcons, very odd scheduling kind of fluke for them. They don't play a single game against the Saints or the Bucks until November 22nd. They play the Saints twice late, November 22nd and December 6th, and then Tampa in weeks 15 and 17, December 20th and January 1st. So why does that matter? Matt Ryan gets the two oldest quarterbacks in really NFL history, oldest high-level quarterbacks, late in the season. We've seen Drew Brees and Tom Brady over the last year or so. Their play dip late into the year. Brees last year had that 5-game respite that maybe helped him to where he was able to maintain up until that playoff game. So if the Falcons are going to be contenders in this division, they got to take care of that very difficult early stretch or non-divisional games and then hope that Brees and Brady have atrophied a bit, if you will, late in the season. So I say it's calendar dependent for them, Brian.
You know, I'm going to say Hall of Fame. This is for Hall of Fame bragging rights. I just know when I talk to the guys that I played with, whether in the NFL, high school, or college, when we sit around the table, all we do is brag about the times that we played against each other and I had 200 yards and you didn't do anything. And so when I see Drew Brees, Matt Ryan, and Tom Brady all in the same division and all sitting around the table with gold jackets on, they'll be talking about the time that we played each other twice a season and I beat you and I had over 200 yards and I had 4 touchdowns, all of those things. So this is all about Hall of Fame bragging rights to me.
Side note, that's also the conversation Brian and I have. Brian says he had 200 yards and I didn't do anything. And I say, yeah, that's true, Brian. I didn't play in the NFL. It's not really a fair comparison. But if we could put up the Buccaneers schedule one more time, those last 3 weeks, and Nick didn't mention it, Matt Ryan is going to be, look at those last 3 weeks. He goes up against the most electrifying, young, and dynamic quarterback in the NFL. Then it's Patrick Mahomes. Then it's back to Brady. So it's a really gauntlet there to end the season. I know Coach has got them going to the Super Bowl. Those last 3 weeks are tough, Jenna.
Oh, Wilds. I love it. All right, moving on to Nick's favorite thing, a list of something sports-related or non-sports-related, just a list is his favorite thing. NFL.com released their top candidates to be the next great dynasty in the NFL. It went Chiefs, Ravens, Niners, and Cowboys? Yep, the Dallas Cowboys coming in at number 4 as a top candidate to be the next great dynasty in the NFL. Nick, Dallas being named contenders is blank.
I will answer that in just one question, but I have to button up Brian's comment from the previous answer because I don't know if America recognized it, but a little Easter egg there. Brian Westbrook with a little jab to Eli Manning's ribs. Because I was checking during your answer, 200-yard games where a potential Hall of Famer played poorly. December 2008, defending champion Giants. Brian Westbrook leads the Eagles to victory. Eli throws for like $140 in a Giants loss. So take that, Manning family. Next time you see Brian Westbrook, he's bringing up the game from December of 2008. Great job, Brian. Now, to answer Jenna's question about the Cowboys being the contenders for the next dynasty, shockingly plausible. And here's what I mean. We all know who the most likely contender for the next dynasty is, or a dynasty that maybe we're in the midst of. But once you get past that team, who are the real contenders? Baltimore, I understand the attraction there, and I think they have a spectacular roster, and I really like Lamar. But we do have to see him do it in the postseason. The Niners are so uncertain about their quarterback, they considered shipping him out for a geriatric Tom Brady. Then there's Dallas that just upgraded at coach, believes they have their franchise quarterback of the future, has spent all this money on super talented offensive players and made some underrated offseason additions on the defensive end, most notably Gerald McCoy. If Mike McCarthy learned from the end of his run in Green Bay, I do think there is a window where a team that hasn't been to a conference championship game in a quarter century all of a sudden could start going on consecutive deep playoff runs. So, Brian, while I wouldn't predict it, I don't think it's totally off the board. So I say it's shockingly plausible.
Plausible? I'm going with misleading. Here's the deal. They still haven't signed Dak, and we don't know what's going to end up happening with that contract if he comes in with the franchise tag, all those different things. We don't know if Dak and Mike McCarthy are going to work well together. We're not sure if Mike McCarthy is going to love Dak or he's going to find someone else to be that quarterback, maybe Andy Dalton, who they brought in the offseason. The other part is we don't understand how this defense is going to be better. They were 25th in the league in takeaways. They're losing Byron Jones, their best cornerback. And so we don't know if this defense is going to be better for this high-flying offense that has all these weapons. And last but not least, don't forget, they still have Jerry Jones as their owner, who has been known to meddle with different things. So you're talking about a dynasty. Maybe they'll win for this year. Maybe they'll even win for next year. But to build a dynasty, you have to win year after year. I think that the Jerry Jones effect certainly will play a factor into that at some point.
Okay, and I was also doing my own research here, Brian. That was interesting that you were bashing the Eagles. You played for the Eagles. Yeah, I just researched that. It was interesting.
I'm a little biased.
Big fan of the Cowboys. I want to dispel the notion that there's any dynasty coming. And everyone talks about the Patriots dynasty is over, which it's not, now that we have Jarrett the Javelin, by the way. But there is no torch. The dynasties are more like a dusty old motorcycle. If we could put up the graphic here. I say a dusty old motorcycle because it's got to sit for a while. And then you got to see, what's this old thing? And it's got, oh my goodness, son, I won the town championship in this motorcycle. So you've got the Steelers. They go on a run, 74-79. Then the dynasty sits in the garage. Then 81-89, here come the 49ers. Then it sits in the garage. 92-95, Cowboys sits in the garage for a few years. And then 01-19, a very long motorcycle ride for Bill Belichick on his hog out there in Nantucket. So the moral of the story is there's no dynasty coming. There's no dynasty. Maybe it's 5 years out, maybe it's 6 years out, or maybe Bill Belichick just keeps it. But it's not a torch. It's a dusty old motorcycle, Jenna.
All right, then I, too, am going to do a little research, and it appears there are no hogs allowed in Nantucket, so your whole dynasty motorcycle dust thing is out the window. All right, on to the Dolphins. Oh, it's a motorcycle. They used their 5th overall pick on quarterback Tua Tagovailoa.
Feral pig. My God. She just doesn't understand.
And though quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick says he's Tua's biggest cheerleader, he also wants to be out there playing. Nick, the Dolphins quarterback competition between Tua and Fitzmagic this offseason, I do know what a hog is, will be blank.
I just love it. Wilds' giving his answer, he even adds a literal and unnecessary, may I add, motorcycle sound effect. And Jenna's still like, I don't think you can have pigs in the city limit. I don't think it's allowed. Yesterday you thought the movie Castaway was a sports movie about volleyball. Today,
volleyball
okay, never mind. I love you, Jenna. The Miami Dolphins quarterback competition this offseason will be uncompetitive. If Tua's healthy, he's the guy. Fitzpatrick's a good guy and everything.